greedy. Harry into a huge rage after called to quit work as Duke collects jobs to boost his odds CV. Prince Harry's job resignation speech, where he said that people putting their happiness ahead of a job is something to be celebrated, has been blasted by a royal commentator who claims the Duke is out of touch with reality. The Duke added that the huge wave of resignation seen over the last year is a sign society is putting their mental health and happiness first. Despite a history of campaigning on breaking the stigma surrounding mental health, Jonathan Sacerdoti claims it was strange to hear the Duke advocating for people leaving their jobs considering his own history. The royal commentator said, "It is quite strange to hear Harry talking about this. His experience of work and jobs will be quite unlike almost everybody else's. He seems to be collecting jobs now he's stepped away from the royal family as a working royal, all of them with unusual and unlikely names like Chief Impact Officer or Impact Partner." Prior to stepping away from royal duties with his wife Meghan Markle, Harry undertook charity work and royal tours on behalf of the Queen. He also spent a decade in the armed forces, rising to the rank of captain and undertaking 2 tours of Afghanistan. Mr. Sacerdoti also notes that Harry's CV has been boosted significantly following his step away from royal duties, including his and Meghan's roles as impact partners at sustainable investing firm Ethic, and the couple's deals with streaming giants Netflix and Spotify. The royal commentator, who appears frequently on Sky News, claimed that the comments made by the prince were at risk of sounding out of touch. Mr. Sacerdoti said, "Of course it's good if people can leave a job that makes them unhappy or mentally ill, and step into a new more rewarding position elsewhere. But the reality of the pandemic has not necessarily been about that for most regular people, many of whom have lost their livelihoods because of the lockdowns and broader economic upheaval associated with COVID." Harry risks sounding totally out of touch with most people's reality. Meanwhile, Meghan's father Thomas Markle has weighed in on his son-in-law Harry again, branding him a candy ass who would run if they had a fight. The 77-year-old says Harry shouldn't have given up on his official duties. Speaking from his home in Rosario, Mexico, Mr. Markle told The Sun, "Harry walked away from his responsibilities and that's ridiculous. He walked away from his grandmother, the royals and the British people. He's a candy ass. I'd take him on at my age any time. He'd run away from me." In October, Thomas Markle hit out at his son-in-law Prince Harry once again during an appearance on Good Morning Britain. He claims all he does is ride a bicycle in LA. Speaking about his son-in-law, Thomas claimed, "I think Harry has abandoned the Queen and the royal family, the British people and the army. He's abandoned them all. All he does now is ride a bicycle around the neighborhood that he lives in. I don't know if it's much of a life for him either, doesn't make sense." Many experts have blasted Prince Harry's recent job advice. Rob Peters, mortgage expert at Simple Fast Mortgage in Altrincham, Greater Manchester, seemed to echo the royal commentator's thoughts, after noting that a decision to quit your job without a long-term plan could have a knock-on effect on the individual's mental health. Mr. Peters said, "If you quit your job without the means to support yourself, I am pretty sure that the stress of where the next meal will come from might be equally bad for your mental health." TV personality Ulrika Jernson, 54, also didn't hold back as she shared her thoughts on Prince Harry's remarks. The mother of 4 told how she felt disappointed in the royal, adding that his recent words of advice had fallen short of someone wanting to be a man of the people. Ulrika wrote, "Advising people stuck in jobs that don't bring them joy to quit is not just careless and foolhardy but yet another sign of how utterly disconnected you are from reality."